Hi, I'm Mark Cunningham with Grace Property Management. One question we're asked often by new real estate investors, new landlords, as well as experienced landlords is, should I allow pets in my rental property? And we understand the thinking, the idea, especially if you've been living in this house and maybe you're converting it to a rental property, you're moving out and converting your home to a rental property, and the fear goes through your head of, gosh, it's going to be some big dog and it's going to scratch up my beautiful hardwood floors and it's going to chew up the wood. So we certainly understand the aversion initially to consider allowing pets in your rental property. But let me offer you 3 specific reasons why we recommend that it's in your benefit as a landlord to offer pets in your rental property. So there was a recent study that came out by the National Association of Realtors, and it said this: there are now more households with pets than with children, which is kind of mind-boggling. In 1988, 56% of tenants had pets. 56% of tenants came with pets. Today, in 2022, that's the most recent survey done, the study is showing 70%. What that means is that 70%, 7 out of every 10 renters comes with a pet. Now, why should that matter to you as a real estate investor landlord as well? Number one reason is if you say no pets, you reduce your potential market by 70%. That is huge. So for all the people that could be interested in your property, if you say no pets, you're just scratching out 7 out of those 10 people. You're down to 3. You want the largest pool of people possible to be interested in your house so that you can attract high quality tenants who are going to stay in your property a long time, take care of your property, yes, of course, and stay a long time. So that's the reason number one is simply that it's going to take a lot longer to rent out your property. You have a smaller pool, which is reason number one. You have less people to choose from. Number two, which correlates to that, is it's going to take you a lot longer to rent your property. If your average time on market, as it is in the Denver market right now, is about 3 weeks to rent a property, if you say, I absolutely do not want pets, well, I can tell you right off the bat that it's going to take you longer on average to rent that property versus saying, no, I will allow pets in my property. Now, the third reason we recommend that you do allow pets in your rental property is simply this: if you say no pets, you will have more frequent turnover. Now, at first, that may not make a lot of sense, but the reason is simply this: people that come with pets tend to stay longer. Now, I can't cite any studies on this, but we've been in business since 1978. We have managed thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of properties. This is the data we see. When people come in and they have the little family poodle or little dog, they're more likely to stay. Why? Because it's harder to rent properties that allow pets. So not only do you have a bigger pool of people to choose from, but the people that you put into your rental property, especially if it's a single family home and it has the yard for the dog, they're more likely to stay longer. On average, they will stay longer, which means you will have less turnover, and turnover is the biggest expense you will incur as a landlord. So you want to reduce the biggest expense you have as a landlord? Allow pets in your property. It simply works out that way. The pet owners do stay significantly longer that way. Now, people say, well, gosh, what about the damage? What about the damage that the pet is going to do? Well, keep in mind a couple things. In Colorado, you can have some pet restrictions. So it doesn't need to be this open-ended, gosh, if I say pets, I'm going to have 7 cats and 5 giant Doberman Pinscher dogs. And if you love Dobermans, I'm not saying anything bad about Dobermans, but you can have pet restrictions. For example, you can have weight restrictions. You can say no pets more than 50 pounds. You can have breed restrictions. So you can eliminate certain breeds types of things. So you can have some pet restrictions in place. Now keep in mind that there's pending legislation in Colorado right now that, emotional support animals, ESAs, as well as service animals, pet restrictions do not apply. So if someone has an ESA, an emotional support animal, or they have a service animal, then you cannot say, oh, well, I'm not going to allow it because it's that particular breed. If it's a ESA or if it's a service animal, breed restrictions go out the window. That doesn't matter. That's per federal law. Now, this isn't a little video intro on service animals. We have other information on that, but it's worth keeping in mind there. The second thing people ask is, well, gosh, Mark, if I do allow pets on my property, can I charge more for that pet? Maybe I get a higher security deposit. Can I charge additional rent per month? And in Colorado, yes, you can. You can increase the security deposit. We recommend you don't charge an additional pet deposit But if it's truly something that you're on the fence about, you can sometimes increase the security deposit overall. Some property management companies charge pet rent. We don't recommend doing that, but that is something that can be done. Now, keep in mind, in Colorado right now, there's a pending law, HB 23-1068. It's titled Concerning Pet Ownership in Housing. This would greatly restrict a landlord's ability to charge more for a pet, to have those restrictions I'm talking about. So at the time we're recording this video, which is the end of March 2023, yes, you can have pet restrictions in place. If HB 23-1068 passes, we will come back and we'll update you on the video like this with that information in there. But if that passes, that's going to greatly restrict your ability as a landlord to potentially charge more for a pet. Now, what about pet damage? If you're a client of Grace Property Management, if you're one of our owner investor clients, keep in mind that we do offer, just for our owner clients, a risk mitigation guarantee, which basically says if we place a pet in the property of yours, we're managing your property, we place a tenant, that tenant brings a pet that we've approved, and if that pet does damage to the property, we will pay damage over and above the security deposit up to $1,000 because we're that confident in our screening criteria. It's the same thing that applies to evictions as well. If we have to evict a tenant in your property that we placed, we pay the legal fees up to $1,000. So you can view information. We'll put a link in here about our eviction and risk mitigation guarantee for pets. That applies to all of our owner landlords because we're that confident in our ability to approve the proper pets and to manage that pet process that way. So if you're a landlord and you're having trouble renting out your property, I would encourage you to consider allowing pets. It will do all the things we talked about. It will rent faster, you will have people stay longer, and you'll have a larger pool of individuals to choose from. If we can be a resource to you as a real estate investor, landlord in Colorado, we're happy to do so. Jump on our website, rentgrace.com. Consider us a resource, and I wish you success.